We all have an image, a story we tell the world about our families. But what happens when the picture-perfect facade hides a painful reality? What happens when the person who's supposed to be your rock, your protector, is actually the source of your deepest wounds? This is the story of children raised by narcissistic fathers who, on the outside, seem to have it all. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. The picture-perfect family, the successful dad, the beautiful home. But behind the smiles and the carefully curated facade, a different story was unfolding. A story of silent pain, emotional neglect, and the unique challenges of being raised by a narcissistic father who looked perfect to the outside world. If you grew up in a similar situation, know that you're not alone. This video is for you. What is narcissism? Before we go further, let's briefly touch on what narcissism actually is. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. It's important to remember that while we might use the term narcissist, it's important not to diagnose someone. Only a mental health professional can do that. But if certain patterns resonate with your experiences, it's valid to explore them. We're not talking about occasional selfish behavior. We're talking about a consistent pattern of behavior that significantly impacts those around them, particularly their children. Here are some common traits of narcissistic fathers: grandiosity, an exaggerated sense of self-importance and entitlement, need for admiration, constant seeking of praise and attention, lack of empathy, difficulty understanding or sharing the feelings of others, exploitation, taking advantage of others to achieve their own goals, manipulation, using guilt, gaslighting, and other tactics to control others, envy, believing others are envious of them or envying others themselves, sense of entitlement, feeling that they deserve special treatment. The perfect facade. One of the most confusing and invalidating aspects of having a narcissistic father is the perfect image they project. They might be charming, successful, generous in public, and highly respected. Everyone sees them as a wonderful person, a pillar of the community, the ideal father. This makes it incredibly difficult to explain the reality of your experience to others. They might dismiss your concerns, saying, "But he's such a great guy," or "You're so lucky to have him." This external validation of their perfect image can leave you feeling invisible, unheard, and like you're going crazy. The silent pain, the emotional neglect. Beneath the surface of perfection often lies deep emotional neglect. Narcissistic fathers are often unable to truly see their children as individuals with their own needs, feelings, and aspirations. Instead, children become extensions of themselves, existing to fulfill their ego needs. This can manifest in many ways. Lack of empathy. Your feelings are dismissed, invalidated, or used against you. If you're sad, you're too sensitive. If you're angry, you're ungrateful. Conditional love. Love and affection are only given when you perform well, achieve their expectations, or make them look good. Emotional manipulation, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, making you question your reality, and playing the victim are common tactics. Competition. Instead of supporting your dreams, they might feel threatened by your success and try to undermine you, using you to be the perfect child, pushing you into activities or a career path that makes them look good, regardless of your own passions. The result is a deep sense of emptiness, feeling unseen, and believing that your worth is tied to external validation. Narcissistic personality disorder is a complex condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. A narcissistic father often projects an image of success and perfection, but beneath the surface lies a fragile ego desperately seeking validation.
You know, growing up, people would always say, "Your dad is so amazing. He's so successful, so charming." And I'd just nod, but inside I was screaming.
My dad was the life of the party, the go-to guy for advice, the picture of competence. But at home, it was a different story. It was all about him.
He always had to be the smartest person in the room. Any success I had, he'd somehow make it about him. Like, "Oh, you got an A? Well, that's because you have my genes."
I spent years trying to be the perfect son. I excelled in school, played the right sports, dated the right girls, all to earn his approval. But it was never enough.
Growing up with a narcissistic father can have devastating consequences for a child's emotional development. The constant need to please, the fear of disapproval, and the lack of validation can lead to lasting scars. Some common struggles include low self-esteem, feeling worthless and inadequate. Constantly being criticized or feeling like you're never good enough can erode your self-worth. Difficulty with boundaries. You may struggle to set healthy boundaries in relationships, as your own needs were consistently ignored. Anxiety and depression. Experiencing persistent feelings of unease, sadness, and hopelessness. The constant stress and emotional invalidation can lead to anxiety disorders and depression. People-pleasing tendencies. Prioritizing the needs of others over their own. You might develop a strong need to please others in an attempt to gain approval and avoid conflict. Difficulty with relationships and trusting others, struggling to form healthy attachments. Betrayal and manipulation from a parent can make it hard to trust others and form genuine connections. Identity issues, difficulty defining who they are outside of their father's expectations. Repeating patterns. You may find yourself unconsciously repeating unhealthy relationship patterns you learned in childhood. Perfectionism, striving for unattainable standards or the need to be perfect in an attempt to love and approval, can lead to perfectionistic tendencies and fear of failure. The good news is that healing is possible. It takes time, effort, and self-compassion, but you can break free from the patterns of the past. Recognizing the dynamics of the narcissistic father-child relationship is the first step. Seeking therapy, joining support groups, and setting healthy boundaries are crucial for reclaiming your life and building a stronger sense of self. Here are some steps you can take. Acknowledge your pain. Validate your own experiences. Don't dismiss or minimize what you went through. Educate yourself. Learn more about narcissistic personality disorder and its impact on children. Seek therapy. A therapist specializing in narcissistic abuse can provide invaluable support and guidance. Set boundaries. Learn to say no and prioritize your own needs. This is crucial for protecting your emotional well-being. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul. This could include exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies. Build a support system. Connect with trusted friends, family members, or support groups where you can share your experiences and receive validation. Challenge negative thoughts. Identify and challenge the negative beliefs you developed as a result of your upbringing. Replace them with more positive and realistic thoughts. Practice self-compassion. Be kind and patient with yourself as you heal. Remember that you are not responsible for your father's behavior. Healing from the wounds of a narcissistic father who appeared perfect is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress, and remember that you deserve to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life.
It took me years to realize that his approval wasn't something I needed. My worth isn't defined by his opinion.
Remember, you are not alone. Many people have experienced the silent pain of being raised by a narcissistic father. By understanding the dynamics of this type of relationship and seeking support, you can break free from the cycle of abuse and create a fulfilling life for yourself. You are not defined by your past. You are strong, resilient, and capable of creating a better future for yourself. If you suspect you were raised by a narcissistic father, don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are resources available to support you on your healing journey. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. You deserve to be seen, heard, and validated. If this video resonated with you, please like and share it to help others who may be going through a similar experience. Your story matters. You can also leave a comment below to share your thoughts and connect with others. And consider subscribing for more content on mental health and healing.